the corner, the short guy, and the deep guy safety. The safety didn't get over, but Butler just got back to make a play.
You know, looking on that replay, I'm not even sure he touched it. Bidwell's kick will roll to a halt at about the 15-yard line. I think that Clayton, the way Clayton reacted, he thought that Butler had tipped it. And ball.
Out of here, you put him.
Well, looks like it's double credit time. Only at Southwest.com. Just go to Southwest.com to book an everyday low fare and earn double Rapid Rewards credit. And it's only when you use your Visa card.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's chilly out there, so prepare. Prepare like never before for the kind of chili that rattles your bones and shakes you to your core. The forecast is chilly. Bring it on. That's what the true fans say. A goosebump-raising chili that gets inside you and steals your breath away. Introducing Campbell's Chunky Chili.
Tuesday.
So, when's the baby due?
There's a communication.
I already had the baby.
Breakdown.
Are you sure? I thought I felt the kick.
Oh, you will later.
All new according to Jim, Tuesday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Star Trek for the St. Louis Rams. Bolger with 147 yards. Marshall Faulk's been limited on the ground tonight. Holt made that 52-yard reception. And 3 other grabs for him. Big play, Torrey Holt. Got the Rams off to a quick start, but Tampa hanging right with him and then cutting back after starting to the right side is Falk, turning it into a nice game and about a yard shy of the first down.
You know why he cut it back? Because Simeon Rice overran it. Simeon Rice wasn't blocked, and he comes down the line. You see him right here. He comes down the line here. Marshall Faulk looks. He over pursues it. Now, when Simeon Rice has to be the outside guy, when he's not there, then Marshall Faulk knows where to go. See him here? He comes down. Everyone gets in flow. Marshall Faulk feels it, and he goes back to the area they left.
2nd and 2 from the 23-yard line. Faulk probing the left side. Comes up a yard shy of the first down. Haven't mentioned Derek Brooks' name all that much tonight, but Derek Brooks, the kind of guy you just bank on him. I mean, he has a long streak in progress right now, a guy who never misses a game. In fact, 134 consecutive starts for that man, who's had some brilliant nights on Monday Night Football. Scored a touchdown after an interception in the Super Bowl.
Now, you're right. We haven't heard much about Derek Brooks tonight. And the other guy was a guy that I just mentioned, Simeon Rice. Of course, part of that is Orlando Pace. I mean, you talk about the best offensive linemen in football, or some of them. Orlando Pace is one of those guys.
Rams are going to take a timeout prior to 3rd and 1.
Isringhausen can rush it up there, but he's very, very slow to the plate, and one of his best pitches is a very tough to handle, hard breaking ball.
Bagwell has had terrific success against Isringhausen. 5 hits and 15 at bats with a home run.
superstitious. Carol Garner there wearing the same shirt she had on last night.
Popped up a mile high. Up around the rafters here at the ballpark, and it gets off the rafters. And Matheny can't get to it. It's a foul ball. Doesn't even matter if they caught it in foul territory. It's a foul ball. That was a big play during the division series.
Ball hits the roof in foul territory. It's immediately a dead ball. Doesn't matter.
Competition. Bad for them. Great for you. Finally, a new choice in domestic shipping. DHL.
I didn't see that coming.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
So after the timeout, in a game that is tied, and a game that is very, very important as Tampa Bay tries to get back into a position where they can contend in the NFC South. Rams trying to move into first place alone in the NFC West. Steven Jackson is the running back, and it's 3rd and 1 from the Ram 24-yard line. And they give it to the rookie, and he picks up the first down. Does the 240-pound Steven Jackson. NFL pass rating. Give you an idea, 158.3 is perfection. If you're at 100, that's tremendous. That's Hall of Fame stuff. 90, very good. 80, fine. 70 is about average, and 60, come see me. The offensive coordinator will tell you. And there are the numbers for tonight. 91.5 for Greasy, and Bulger close to 70. 1st and 10. Joey Goodspeed. Jeff Gooch with the tackle after a gain of 8. And there are the numbers tonight. Yardage about even. Each guy has thrown a touchdown pass, and there are the ratings up to the moment.
You know, and I think the big thing is neither quarterback has thrown an interception. And I know that in both offenses that's very important. More important probably in the Tampa Bay because they're more of a ball control type of thing. But when a quarterback can learn, if you don't have something, throw it away, that's a big step.
2nd and 2, and the heat is on, and the pass is caught by Jackson in the backfield. And he gets a yard to set up another 3rd and
28 straight for that guy.
There he goes. And a fly ball lifted into right center field. Edmonds waving off Walker. He's got it.
He threw an interception. Mike Martz is saying to him, did you wrong cut? Were you being pushed? Was anything? He goes, no, it was just my fault. And I'll tell you, other players, teammates really respect that.
3rd and short 2. And Jackson does not, at least for the moment, appear to have made it. I think they're going to come up a little bit shy of the 36-yard line. Larry Nemmers is going to bring the chains in. But as you can tell, that yellow line is not official, but it's close enough.
Right, and if it is short, that's when you have to punt. I mean, there's, it looks short, we ought to go for it here. But in this situation, 3rd quarter, score tied, at home, in this field position, you can't afford to go for it.
Of course, the crowd always wants you to go for it.
No, and that's the easiest thing to do. People say, oh, he didn't have any guts, he didn't go for it. Sometimes it takes more guts to stand like that and leave it just a few inches and say, punt the doggone thing. That takes more guts than to say, getting caught in the spirit. Yeah, go for it. I mean, that's easy to do.
Especially in a situation like this, you really can't even think about it. Leondetta kicking, and that is down at about the 2 by Dwight Anderson. So you have the oldest punter in the history of the NFL, but there's also a flag down, and he was punting to the oldest punt returner in the history of the NFL.
I wonder if Anderson went out of bounds and came back 20
in. Was out of bounds.
Yeah.
came back in and was the first to touch the ball. On the kicking team, that's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
What a killer.
He can go out of bounds as he's covering, but when you see an official without a hat, that's usually what the call is. You see Anderson here, he's out of bounds. Now, he's okay doing this, but he can't be the first guy to touch the ball. He can't down it. And when you saw that official throw the hat, you know that someone went out of bounds and came back in and was the first to touch the ball.
Well, if a flag is missing, well, you throw the flag, and then you throw the hat, and all that's left is the beanbag.
Yeah, the beanbag would be the third thing, and then you take off a shoe.
Tim Brown, we mentioned the oldest guy to return a punt in the history of the league.
And there aren't many punt returners without gloves, and this is the oldest punter.
Landetta at the age of 42. Good kick again. This is the same scenario. Brown just letting it go. And it's down at the 7-yard line. And Anderson that time, Anderson was so, I guess, gun shy in a way. That thing probably would have gone down to the 2-yard line, but he wanted to make sure this time at least he pinned them. 63-yard boot.
This is it.
What is this?
Introducing the full-size 5.6-liter V8 Nissan Armada.
Where are we?
There he goes. And a breaking ball easily steals.
Share the adventure.
Today against live competition that e-server can monitor itself, manage itself, optimize itself, protect itself, practically heal itself.
How'd it get here?
Maybe it ordered itself.
Self-optimizing IBM eServer X series with Intel Xeon processors.
ABC Wednesday is all about work and play. First on an all-new Bachelor.
I'm looking for the woman to spend my life with.
Dream. They play for the Bachelor's heart.
This is the man I'm going to marry.
Mom hardly works.
Better as a hitter, knowing that they just walked a guy in front of him.
Of course, they intentionally walked Berkman in front of Kent in the 7th inning here last night, but then Kent got hit on the leg with an 0-2 pitch by Julian Tamara.
And now a meeting at the mound between Mike Matheny, Jason Isringhausen, and Tony Womack coming in.
NHL, we move the world. The crowd down in the left end zone as we look at it. You look down, aerial coverage from Bud Light. They really get going down in that end zone, and they help create a fumble late in the first half that the Rams turned into a touchdown. And now you've got a busted play and a near safety. But he's just outside the goal line. Anthony Hargrove is there. So again, that crowd gets into it, and the Bucs are completely messed up at that end of the field.
And as you say, it's the second time they had a fumble earlier in this same area, and this noise just gets them. You see, both backs go to the left. Brian Griese turns out to the right. So either Brian Griese turned the wrong way, or both backs went the wrong way. I would say Brian Griese was wrong on that one.
2nd and 16, and he throws out of the end zone and buys a lot of space as Ken Dilger makes the catch a little short of the first down up at the 16-yard line.
Boy, that is a big throw. I mean, after you foul up a play like that and you're throwing from your own end zone and you back up, he gets pretty good protection there. You step up and throw it to your tight end, and a throw like that, that's a big-time play. And when you're in the middle of the field and going in the other way, it's a little easier for a quarterback. There's not many tougher areas to throw from than the one Brian Griese just threw from.
3rd and 1. And from the 16-yard line, Allstott started to go down. Where are they going to spot this now? Here comes the head linesman, and it looks like they're going to be a little bit short.
You see where Ryan Pickett, the defensive tackle, he was spotting it for him. He was the guy that made that tackle, and he just stayed down there and started patting the area and said it's right here. Let's see if he makes it here. See, he got a little high on that one. Watch Pickett now. Now he's going to stop him right there, hold him, and then pat where he's spotting the ball. Usually Allstott gets down behind his shoulder pads. For some reason.
Good job, that kid can throw. He's been able to keep his composure and pitch when we want him to pitch. He's done a phenomenal job.
Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
The producer of today's game is Jeff Gowen. Our director, Jim Lynch. Our associate producer, Carol Langley McDermott. The associate director, Ellen Billigmeyer. Broadcast associate, Zach Fields. Technical producer, Dan Rotante. Our technical director, Jeff Butler. Our audio mixer, Jeff Cohen. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers are David Hill and Ed Gold.
Low kick by Bidwell. Fielded on the hop by McDonald. No help. Except helping the Buccaneers by taking it and running backward with it. And they'll spot it at the 31. 45-yard punt and -8 on the run back. John Howell made the tackle. 14 all.
Tom Brenneman saying thanks so much for being with us. Jeannie, Kevin coming up right after these messages. See you in St. Louis.
The producer.
Who cares about some stupid birthday party?
Who cares?
So what?
You'll never forget the people you hurt when you were high.
Guys?
No way.
Yeah, I got us on the Verizon Wireless Family Share Plan so we can talk to each other as much as we want.
And it's got in, so you can talk to your friends all you want to.
Really? Awesome.
Hey, group hug.
Okay. Sign up for the Family Share Plan, and now the whole family can make unlimited in-calls to each other and any other Verizon Wireless customer from the America's Choice coverage area. Plus, buy one Samsung A650 for $29.99 and get one free.
Give me a call.
Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Enterprise rental car for the game.
Yeah, they pick us up. Free.
Free pickup. They ought to be number one.
They are number one.
So if Enterprise is number one, why don't they have these?
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
7:55 remaining in the third quarter at the Jones Dome in St. Louis. Game tied 14-14. Okay. From the 31-yard line, first down. Marshall Faulk is in the backfield. Bolger. Intercepted right into the arms of Ian Gold, and the former Denver Bronco, who has good speed, shows some of it there and some shifty moves too, taking it to the 16-yard line. Bolger over the middle and right into the arms of Ian Gold.
You know, that was at cover two, and they run the middle linebacker out. Ian Gold cheats over. You're going to see him. He's number 52. He's right here. You see, he's going to cheat over to this side. And as he throws deep, see, they thought he was going to be outside, so he's playing it off the mic. The mic going deep. Ian Gold didn't work to the outside. He just worked straight back, and he read Bolger's eyes all the way. He was in a place where he wasn't supposed to be, but Bolger still has to look to see and make sure that he's not there.
Bolger, who tied for the league lead in picks last year with Joey Harrington at 22, is throwing about one per game this season. That's his sixth in their sixth game. And it sets Tampa Bay up at the 15-yard line. So their fourth drive that begins in Ram territory And it's Pittman fighting for 8 yards before Archuleta takes the football away. Adam Archuleta is out in front. He will go all the way. The whistle has not blown. No flag has been thrown. And the Rams have scored an amazing touchdown. He just took it away before the whistle. And Adam Archuleta gives the Rams the lead. He goes 93 yards.
Adam Archuleta is a very, very strong guy with strong hands and strong arms. You see, he tackles him. He starts to roll him. Then as he rolls him, the ball comes out, and then Adam Archuleta picks it up. Watch him. He hits Michael Pittman. Then he turns him and spins him, and as he spins him, the ball comes out. I would think this has to be a challenge. In fact, John Gruden or someone just threw the ball, the flag, all the way into the middle of the field.
Yep. That was a major flag toss. The question is he down? He's on top of Archuleta, which means it's still alive when he loses the ball. Or did his elbow hit first?
Tampa Bay is challenging.
They'll challenge. They'll look at it. We'll be back in a moment.
He's like a guide.
Friend. Teacher.
Teacher. Guru.
Secret weapon.
Confidant. Mentor.
A big help.
Is this what you call your financial advisor?
Coach.
Ally.
Hero.
Motivator.
Motivator.
Maybe you should call one of ours. The personal financial advisors of American Express.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
Epson T001. Canon BC. Hey.
At Staples, we stock a huge selection of cartridges, so we guarantee we'll have the one you need. And right now, buy any combo, twin, or 2 single packs of ink and get one of these reams of paper free instantly. Staples, that was easy.
Talk to him, man. No way. She was making out with that guy.
An all-new Life as We Know It, Thursday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Look with us, and we were looking during commercial. We see nothing to overturn this. This should stand as a Ram touchdown. Because when Pittman goes down, when his elbow hits, he's down. But before that right elbow hits, that ball is loose. And thus, because it is loose, and there you can see it, it winds up with Archuleta. Then the only other question you could have is, was Archuleta contacted before he got up and ran with it? And that doesn't appear to be the case either.
Look at Archuleta just stay with that and pull it out.
And then when he comes up with it, Archuleta, you have to make sure that he wasn't down by contact. Because if he was, that play would have been brought back to that spot, Ram ball. But he comes away with the ball after Pittman rolls off him and goes 93 yards.
So that play is going to stay. I mean, had Archuleta not been under Pittman, then that part of his body could have hit. But that part of his body hit Archuleta, so he's not down then. And as you said, Al, the first thing that hit was his right elbow. So it's where the ball is when the right elbow hits, and it had already come out.
After reviewing the play, the ball was out before any part of the runner hit the ground. The defensive player recovered the ball without being touched. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
Yeah, both things work in the Rams' favor, because the other thing that could have happened As I say, he could have lost the ball and then been contacted by Pittman in any form, and the play would have been dead at the 7-yard line.
Adam Archuleta is one of those guys that lift weights. He has an amazing workout ethic, and it just came to play then. I mean, how he was able to take Pittman, who's a very strong guy, and turn him and twist him and torque him, and at the same time get that ball out of there.
So back-to-back turnovers, an interception, and then the fumble, the 93-yard return, Wilkins for the point after. Two killer turnovers for Tampa Bay. So for those of you watching baseball tonight and just joining us, scoring summary coming up. Here's how it started. Early, first quarter, first Ram drive right after the opening kickoff. 52 yards, Bolger to Torrey Holt. The Rams off and running. But back came the Bucs on their first drive. Allstott caps it with a touchdown. They took the lead here on this pass to Pittman. Then Greasy fumbled. The crowd was roaring. And the Rams capitalized on 4th down to tie the game. And then Pittman here gets taken down on that very last play. Archuleta goes 93 yards. And so those two Tampa Bay turnovers have been killers tonight. Meanwhile, Greasy is 15 out of 22 for 168. Bolger is 12 out of 24 for 155.
And that's what makes a coach try and squeeze his eyes out of his head. I mean, those things just drive you crazy. I mean, here, you know, you think you have things under control. You're moving, you're going in, and lo and behold, the guy picks it up and runs it right by you for 93 yards.
Right. And, you know, the Rams, it's so funny. They're one of the few teams, they don't need a turnover advantage to win. In fact, they've been -3 in 2 of their wins. When you give them a turnover advantage, as the Bucs have done tonight, I mean, they're almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, but they just took the turnover back because, remember, Mark Bolger threw one to them to Ian Gold, and then they got it back. They just took back what they gave away.
Then a right back is Torrey Cox. Brings it up to the 29-yard line. Here's Michelle.
Al, I talked about the friendship between Tony La Russa and Mike Martz a little bit earlier, and Tony La Russa told me over the weekend that the Rams win in overtime in Seattle last week was huge because it could turn their season. And you almost see the confidence in this Rams team not feeling beat. Even though they turned it over first, they came back and took it away and scored. La Russa said something similar happened to him in the middle of his season. They were hosting the Cubs, who had a chance to tie them for first. They were trailing, came back to win 10-9. He said it turned their season. He believes the Rams season has turned as well, guys.
La Russa needs it to happen again.
I'm sure right now Tony La Russa's worried about getting a win for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, just one. Now he needs 2. He needs one in game 6.
You never know.
One more.
You have to believe. I mean, it looks like they have it, and the Yankees have it, and then all of a sudden games break out, and teams that aren't supposed to win. That's a great thing about sports. I mean, we all say, you know, this team's going to win, this team's better. And then the game breaks out, and you don't know who's going to win.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. 2nd down and 4. And that is caught in Ram territory, but no, they're going to say no. Incomplete because Butler hits Michael Clayton as the ball gets there. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
You know, when they drafted Michael Clayton, #1, you know, as we said earlier, he thought, John Gruden thought he was going to have all these receivers, and Michael Clayton would work himself in as a 4th wide receiver. And then with all these injuries, Michael Clayton is now their #1 wide receiver, or their go-to guy.
For what we saw in the first half, he looks like a #1. 3rd down and 4, flag. Leonard Little makes the tackle.
Leonard Little's a defensive end that plays defensive line like a linebacker. He can line up on this side, you run to the other side, chase it down, catch it from behind, has a dislocated thumb. There's nothing that's going to slow this guy down. I mean, he's one of the quickest, fastest defensive ends in football.
Illegal shift on the offensive team. 2 men moving. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Watch Leonard Little here. I mean, he starts on this side. The ball goes to the other side with Greasy, and he catches him from behind. And then lays out and does it. That's spectacular play. I mean, when the ball goes away, it's easier to loaf, just take it easy. But catch a guy from behind is a big-time play.
Josh Bidwell, ex-Packer. Decent punt. Fair caught 22-yard line by Sean McDonald. Marshall Faulk scored a touchdown tonight. A little bit more about Marshall Faulk.
The one word that defines me, versatile. I would love to have met Dr. Martin Luther King. My favorite food, cheeseburgers. My favorite possession, my watch collection. I make the best apple pie. My greatest on-field accomplishment hasn't happened yet.
You know, the thing about Marshall Faulk, I keep thinking back to when he was in college. And there he goes. You know, because he played at San Diego State, and they were playing night games, and you don't get that much coverage in the East and all of that. With a flag down, he was spectacular with the Aztecs.
Well, you know, he was from New Orleans, and San Diego State was one of the few places that would play him as a running back. Every other college wanted him as a defensive back or wide receiver.
Holding, offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Torrey Holt. He had 299 yards rushing against Brigham Young one Thursday night. Than Mr. Faulk.
You know, you talk to Marshall Faulk, and he knows more, I think, about the NFL and the players and the coaches and the schemes. I think he knows more than any other player. I mean, it's amazing. You can talk about anything, you know, and he knows, you know, schemes and offense and and blocking and defenses and what they're trying to do and what every guy on his team has to do. And I think to truly be great, you have to know the whole, and he does.
He'd be a pretty good coach, wouldn't he?
Oh, he'd be an excellent coach. And we asked him the other day if he knew what he was going to do after, and he said no, he's never thought about it, which I think is the thing to do, because once you know what you're going to do, then you're already halfway there. You got a foot in the bucket.
Yep. That's like the old Marv Levy line. You know, when you start talking about retirement, you've already retired.
You've already retired. And I think when you know what you're going to do, and yeah, I'm going to go into this or I'm going to go into that, you've already started towards that. And then talking to Marshall Faulk, he has no idea what he's going to do when he's done playing, which is the right answer.
What about the choices? Very bright, very articulate. 1st and 16. Marshall again. He had a 4-yard run, but the 10-yard penalty made it 1st and 16, which is a spot foul.
This is where Mike March, you know, he'll say that it tries to be balanced, but he says you don't have to be balanced during the whole game. He said, you know, at the end of the game, once you get a lead, you may go into the 4th quarter and run 10 or 12 times, and you come out and it's 60-40, but it may be 80-20 on the way to win the game. Although tonight he's had 19 runs and 26 passes.
2nd down and 11. Swinging out one-handed like a highlight player. He brought that in, did Faulk. Brian Kelly makes the tackle. 3rd and long upcoming. Since 2000, that's the year that March took over after Dick Vermeil retired from the Rams. Most pass-oriented in the NFL, which is why it was so crazy early on when they had a 1st and goal from the 5, and he ran 4 times.
That's probably the first time he's ever done that in history, and I kind of agree with that. You know, that every rule that's put in is to help the offense and specifically the passing game, and if they're going to give you rules, you might as well use them, and he uses them well.
3rd and 7. And Bulger gets sacked, so Greg Spires comes in and gets another sack, and it's a fumble and recovered by the Bucs. So the whistle blew when the ball was still alive, and Anthony McFarland comes up with the football.
Right, and we said that if they were going to have any trouble in the pass protection was going to be their right tackle against Greg Spires. And watch the right side of the screen right here. Here's Spires here. Another bull rush. He's going to just take Grant Williams right here and just get on that outside shoulder. Then once he gets it even, as I said earlier, he's leaving. You see, he gets that shoulder even with him, and then he just runs right by him. And as he's taking him down, he knocks the ball out with his right hand.
All 3 Buck sacks have come on third down plays tonight. Greasy tries to capitalize. Ken Dilger, the tight end, takes it to the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Spires with 2 of those sacks.
He's had a big game tonight. I mean, that was the thing that Monty Kiffin said. That, you know, we have to rely on our rush. We have to get the pressure with 4 guys. You have to put pressure on this offense. And this guy has been putting the most pressure on Mark Bulger all night. Williams showing where he came from. He knows where he's come from. He's lining right up over him. You don't have to show him that.
He doesn't want to see it either. 2nd and 5. Here's Pittman. Hard yard. 3rd down and 4 with 3.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
That's not where he lines up. It's what you do about it. You can't let him get even with your outside shoulder. When he comes there, you have to give him a punch. You know, we've seen Spires have some big games, haven't we? Remember the Super Bowl?
Sure. He got him started. He was the kick starter in that game in San Diego. 3rd down and 3. Nobody in the backfield. Now they'll reposition Pittman behind the quarterback. Fake to him. Pressure. Greasy hit as he throws. Softly huddled by Dilger as Greasy got hit, and then Dilger was able to make the catch. Nice soft hands there to set up a 1st and goal.
You know, how that ball even got out of there is amazing. We talk about Brian Greasy and being a tough guy. Here's the bootleg. He starts to bootleg, and the end is right there. So, again, he has to step into it and throw right into the pressure.
Hargrove hit him.
That will take a little off, won't it? That will cause the ball to wobble on you.
Don't know where I came up with cuddle, but I guess that's a pretty good way to describe that catch. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Stack the receivers to the left, bunch them up. And a delay of game penalty here.
Prior to the snap, delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Well, you've got all that verbiage from Gruden, and you have all that crowd noise. And I mean, this place is noisy. It's a hard roof. It's not even the Teflon type roof that you have in Indianapolis and Minneapolis. The sound just stays in there. You get down to those corners, and it's like ridiculous.
Well, and then what happens after a play, you're waiting for it to get spotted. You darn near have to call the next play right after you call the last one, because if you wait too long to see the spot, then that's what happens.
From the 8 on 1st and goal, Greasy over the middle, gets about half of it, and that ball is whistled dead. Clayton made the catch, the completion to the 3.5, 4-yard line, and 2nd down and goal.
See, this is one that when the official comes up and he points to the ground and says down by contact, that's not a reviewable play anyway.
Right. Once the whistle blows, that's it.
And Gruden looking to find a red-lighted play for the 4-yard line and 2nd down. You better start looking now for a 3rd. Oops, he didn't like that one.
Split Clayton to the left. Too important to play. Timeout taken by Tampa Bay. With 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and that's their 2nd.
You wonder what's going through his mind right now. I mean, the first thing that you have to think of is, do I want to run or do I want to pass? And then you have to look at your list to see your 5-yard line runs or your 5-yard line passes. And you have to look and see which runs you thought were the best ones when you did your film study that you red lighted.
And then you have to execute it.
Right, and then the defense is over in the sideline talking about what they think he's going to call. You know, because they do get intended. You know, I mean, once a play caller, you get a book on a play caller, he's the same guy.
Right. And he's thinking what Morris might be thinking, that he can outthink him with.
He's probably thinking right here what Larry Marmee is thinking. because I would imagine he's called this defense.
Second down and goal from the 4-yard line. Good hole, and taking it to the 1-yard line to make it third down and goal is Michael Pittman.
Yeah, and that's what Michael Pittman does best, is like Reuben Drones yesterday, just run the ball downhill. And he's not a very good counter runner, but he's just going to get a lead over here on this side, just take the ball and just run it straight downhill. He's a very powerful guy, keeps his feet moving, but the Rams kept him out of the end zone.
Pittman is not in that many situations as the ball carrier down by the goal line. One rushing touchdown in 2.5 years with the Bucs. He won't get it here either, but who will get it is Heller, the tight end, who made a big catch on their opening drive, and he scores here, and they're a point away, an extra point away from tying the game.
A great call by John Gruden. They got him on a bootleg where he's going to fake the run to the right. So he fakes a run there, get them all playing that run, bootlegs out here, and throws the ball to Will Heller. And no one is around Heller. See it? Everyone flows to the ball carrier. Greasy gets to the outside, and he just throws that easy thing up there to Heller.
Second touchdown of Heller's career. He caught 2 balls all season coming into tonight, 3 in tonight's game. And 2 of them very important. Dramatica with the point after to tie the game at 21 with 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. John Gruden had a lot of work to do along with Bruce Allen at the end of last season. Think about this. Keyshawn Johnson traded after they had in effect told him to get lost last year. Warren Sapp to Milwaukee was a free agent. They had to release John Lynch now with Denver. Of course, there's Brad Johnson, who is now on the bench. And you've been going through all of these things. They have, as we mentioned before, their top 3 receivers. If you've made a depth chart in June, and only Galloway has played, and that was for a few games in the opener. Jurevicius hasn't. McCardell has been holding out. You know, you think about this team, too, and what they had to spend to get John Gruden. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and $8 million in cash, and then they had to sign John.
Right, and then they won a Super Bowl the first year. So I think it was worth it. I think that any owner, if you'd ask him, would you spend that much money and give that many draft choices if you would be guaranteed winning a Super Bowl? I'm sure all 32 of them would do it.
I think the Glazer family, certainly under those circumstances, because it was getting embarrassing. Remember, they were thinking about Bill Parcells, and they couldn't get that done, and there were a lot of other guys in play. And then finally, I mean, they did everything but put it on monster.com. Here's a job for you. And they finally get Gruden. 4-yard line, Arlen Harris brings it back to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, we look at that bootleg, and what you try and do is you try and fake the defense. Now watch Adam Archuleta. He's a guy out here. He is really going to bite on that run. I mean, he thinks it's a run. He starts inside. They're able to hook him and get to the outside, and no one covers Heller. But here was a great play he made. I mean, he got fooled down there in the goal line, but how about this great play where he took it 93 yards the other way?
Steven Jackson is the running back as the third quarter winds down. And Jackson to the 26, and what figures to be the final play of the third quarter. Cosell would say the ebb and flow of this game. Up and down the field they go. What a football game this is turning out to be. Rams led early. Bucs took the lead. Rams got the lead back. Now we're tied at the end of 3. 21-21. And Monday Night Football from St. Louis will continue after this message from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
He just loves football.
Play
playing, and we know they will keep playing at least one more day. We will be here when it's all said and done like we are right now. WB Mason's Extra Innings, Graded City Electric's Extra Innings Extra after every postseason game.
A special announcement from the Bargain Network. Introducing the 300 horsepower.
With 2 outs, no less, in the bottom of the 14th inning, forces a Game 6. It is supposed to be John Lieber against Curt Schilling, but will it be? Here is Mr. Schilling himself.
A chance to get us one step closer to a World Series. A chance to make up for Game 1. A chance to pick my teammates up after they've been picking each other up for the last couple of days. I mean, there's just so many things that go into this. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Another one, Sean?
How optimistic were you that you would get another chance physically, and how do you feel about the ankle being stable enough tomorrow night for you to perform the way you want to?
Well, you know, I never mentally shut it down after the game. I was incredibly disappointed. Emotionally, I was pretty spent after waiting that long for that one game. But the medical staff, especially Dr. Morgan and Jim and Chris, exhausted every scenario we could exhaust till we found something that we thought would work. And it was pretty much a last gasp effort that ended up working. So, you know, from that standpoint, we did what we could.
Season with a good one. Game tied at 21 as we begin the final quarter. The St. Louis Rams have the ball at their own 27-yard line, and as they come up to the line of scrimmage, it is 2nd down and 6. Bolger surveying, swings it to the outside. Torrey Hall has been relatively quiet since early in the game. That's his 5th catch of the night. He began the game with a 52-yard touchdown reception. Picks up the first here.
Yeah, Isaac Bruce has been a little quiet too, and it seems like Mike Martz is a little conservative tonight in his play calling, but I don't think he's worrying about passing. I think he's worried about his pass protection, you know, and he wonders if that can hold up. If he doesn't have some kind of balance, he's going to really have trouble with that guy right there, Greg Spires.
A lot of pressure on Bolger tonight. Spires has 2 of the 3 Buck sacks. First down from the 34-yard line. And Bolger goes down, so that didn't fool anybody. Fake toss, fake draw, and Simeon Rice gets in there for the sack. His 2nd of the season.
You know, and this is one of the better matchups. Orlando Pace here, blocking Simeon Rice right here. But you see, he gets that jump start, and he doesn't expect Simeon Rice to take him on squarely. Simeon Rice takes him, expects him to take his outside shoulder. He goes right square into him, and after he goes square into him, he takes the inside.
Only the 2nd sack of the year for a guy who's normally in double figures. Bolger turns to the outside and hits Jackson. He makes the catch and taken down at the 30-yard line by Ian Gold.
As I was saying earlier, that this is a very crisp tackling game. You know, I've been a little critical of the tackling in this league. I thought it's gone down, and in most games it has. But I'll tell you, in this game, the tackling on both sides has been very good.
Very few guys have stepped out of contact. 3rd down and 14. Bolger setting up Steven Jackson underneath, and a big 3rd down play. All the way to the Tampa Bay 45-yard line.
I said earlier that I think Mike Martz is really worrying about his pass protection, so he gets a third down. Instead of throwing the ball down the field, he goes to a screen pass. You know, invite them to rush, get them to rush, and then just get your back, get him lost up there, get him out there behind the guard, get a block right there, and pick up a first down. Take advantage. If they're going to rush you, if they're going to put pressure on, take advantage with the screen play.
3rd and 14, and they pick up 28. 42-yard line. Here goes Jackson to the left side. That #1 draft choice to the 39-yard line. Remember when they drafted Trunk Candidate a few years ago? Arizona running back, and that didn't work out. But if you look at a guy like Jackson, who's a lot different than Candidate, and clearly Jackson's the guy at some point you would think who will supplant Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, but he's not going to be what Marshall Faulk was. I mean, Marshall Faulk was a guy that you could play him as a running back. You could play him as a slot receiver, as a wide receiver. You could do so many things with him that it really made your offense a very versatile offense. And Steven Jackson is just going to be a running back.
Yep. And where are you going to find the next Marshall Faulk?
He's a 245-pound running back.
Yep. Faulk to the 36-yard line. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Steven Jackson led the Pac-10 in scoring, rushing, and all-purpose yards last year, and he expected to be drafted anywhere from 6 to 15. He was highly regarded as the best running back in April's draft. When he fell, he said he fell into a state of shock as well. When he finally got picked at number 24, he wondered why the Rams, with Marshall Faulk, would even want him. But Al and Johnny told me his feeling about this has completely changed. He said, now I wake up every day thinking I could be the guy to replace Marshall Faulk someday.
And play in this offense, too, with a guy like Mike Martz as your coach. 3rd down and 4. Going deep and caught for the touchdown. Torrey, big play Holt.
Mark Bulger never looks different, does he? Whatever he does, a sack, a fumble, an interception, or a touchdown, he looks the same. They get a little conservative, but you know it's only going to last a while. They get Torrey Holt out there. He starts in the inside. Remember I said he's the best corner route runner in football? That was what he started. He started into the post, then back to the corner, and then straightened it up. He's the only guy in the NFL that runs that pattern.
He had Mario Edwards covering him initially. Phillips came over and couldn't help out at the end, and Jeff Wilkins will try to make it a 7-point game. 36-yard touchdown pass on a 3rd and 4. So they convert on a 3rd and 14. They get a touchdown on a 3rd and 4. And right now the Rams are up 28-21.
Cold hard fact. Other beers are heat pasteurized.
I can only speak for myself. And
because we know you love cold.
Strikes out swinging. He will take a seat. Bottom of 4. Johnny Damon's dreadful series continues as he sits down. The inning is done. Top of 6. Bases loaded. And it's Derek Jeter. Hasn't done much, but laced this one down the right field line. In comes Jorge Posada. In comes Ruben Sierra. And in comes Miguel Cairo. Check out the slide. Right around Veritek. He's safe. 4-2 New York. 2 on. Bottom of 7. Tom Gordon gets Ramirez to ground into the inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. Those will kill you all the time. 4-2 pinstripes. Bottom of 8. Ortiz brings the Sox within 1 with a solo shot to left off Tom Gordon. 4-3 Bombers. Bottom of 8. Runners on 1st and 3rd. Veritek getting the job done with a sac fly to center. This will tie the game as Dave Roberts heads up and slides inward, knotted up at 4s. Bottom of 14. Are you still with me? Runners on 1st and 2nd. Ortiz will muscle a single to center. Damon turns and burns. The Red Sox win again. Sleep is highly overrated. At 5 hours and 49 minutes time-wise, this was the longest game in postseason history. Let's throw things over to the knuckleballer with his thoughts.
Watch ABC Action News tomorrow morning in the 6:30 half hour and see how you can win these tickets. See you tomorrow morning.
2 big third down conversions. Bolger on that drive. Perfect. 4 of 4. The Rams are up by 7 at home. Jeff Wilkins. Pulled in 2-yard line. Torrey Cox. 23-yard line. So 10:39 remaining in the fourth quarter as the Rams trying to move into undisputed possession of first place in the NFC West. Mark Bolger throwing the touchdown to put them up by 7.
October 26th.
Sleep-deprived fans showed up at Fenway to watch all 3 games. Don't you dare go away. This is another all Red Sox edition of Sports Desk. When we return, more post-game interviews and analysis coming your way as Bob Tewksbury, I think he's still around, drops by to dissect another dramatic finish.
Watch the game. We know you love cold beer. The frost is here. That hard-hitting time of the year. And we'll climb and we'll fight and claw our way to the finish. It's cold like that. And you could either watch it or live it.
Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
You've waited. You've dreamed. And now it's finally back. Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. The only time of year to enjoy all the shrimp you can eat. Don't miss Endless Shrimp right now, only at Red Lobster.
Rodney's being called everything from screamingly funny to a gem to...
Danger's my middle name.
Leslie is your middle name.
I told you that in confidence.
Rodney's winning hearts everywhere. All new Tuesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on ABC.
Torrey Holt 2 touchdowns tonight. 6 catches for 124 yards. Played his college ball at North Carolina State.
Here's his first one. It's a post pattern. And you see that speed. He just gets upon that safety so quickly that he's by him. Now here's the second one that is kind of a post here, back to the corner, and then straight up. I don't know of any other receiver in the NFL that runs that pattern. And Torrey Holt has it perfected.
You know, it's like a snake pattern. I mean, you wiggle your way downfield.
Right, and defensive backs will react to every angle as you wiggle.
From the 23-yard line. Pittman. And you're right, John. You know, when you watch games as we do from the 50-yard line and you look at it live, the Rams just look different. Their receivers just run patterns that you don't see any other team run.
You know, and they do that in practice too. Everything is, as Mike Martz says, fast and furious, and it's not only on game time. You know, he just doesn't say, okay, let's get fast and furious now. They're fast and furious every day in practice, and it takes a while to be in the system to learn how to practice that way.
From the 36, Charles Lee. Since 2000, a year after the Rams won the Super Bowl, big plays, 20 or more yards, and you can see 1-2 in the league are the 2 Ram wideouts. Even more receptions of 20 or more yards than Randy Moss.
Well, when you can run a post and a corner up like Torrey Holt, you're going to have the most reception. Randy Moss does it with speed.
First and 10, 47-yard line. Go against Tampa.
False start, offense number 67. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Kenyatta Walker, right tackle.
You know, you look at a defensive end like Leonard Little, and you think the tackles they make, the hurries they make, the sacks they make, but they also make 5-yard plays like that. You know, that tackle that's on him is so anxious. You know, he has to get back. He has to, he can't get beat right off the ball, so he'll move a little early, and that's a 5 yards that should go to Leonard Little.
Scare you into a penalty. We see a little two-handed shovel to Mike Pittman. Brian just looking to get rid of the ball. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 15.
You know, Brian Greasy did something there that his dad used to do, is change the snap count. You know, after he gets some pressure or someone jumps, he gives him the first sound. I mean, he gets up there and goes in the first sound. His dad, Bob, would mix up the snap count better than anyone that I ever coached against.
And showed blitz, backed off. Greasy throws, and that is caught. Nice grab and enough for the first down as it is taken in by Michael Clayton. Again, the #1 pick out of LSU, and because of McCardell's holdout, Galloway's injury, Jervis's surgery, he's being force-fed, and he looks like a real keeper.
And you see that cover 2 again. He's trying to get in that hole. Once he gets beyond that corner, he just settles down before that safety gets over. That was a big part of their game plan. They wanted to hit that area against the Rams cover 2.
17-yard gain. Clayton has now caught 6 for 104 yards. Allstott. Inside the 35. Ball is loose, but the whistle had blown. He came down. He was contacted. The whistle had blown. He was tackled by DeJuan Gross. And Allstott slow in the rising.
Well, again, Allstott, for the second time, he didn't get down. I mean, Allstott is one of those guys that runs so well behind his shoulder pads. That's the second time, instead of going down and getting behind his shoulder pads, watch, he goes up in the air. Allstott is not a guy that should be doing a lot of leaping.
Missed those 12 games last year because of the neck injury sustained in that Indy game on Monday night. Second and 3. Clayton to the 21-yard line. Michael Clayton shares something in common with Jerry Rice. A birthday. The only 2 active receivers born on October 13th, 20 years apart. And it might be newsworthy tonight in particular because this is kind of a coming out party in a way for Clayton. And the word we're getting now from Oakland is that Jerry Rice is about to get traded for a conditional pick to Seattle. Because from what we hear, he was saying goodbye to some of his teammates at practice today.
I saw his agent today at the hotel, and he thought that he was going to go to Seattle.
Meanwhile, Greasy's going to go to the turf for a sack at the 30-yard line as the blitz was on, and down he went.
Neither one of these teams do a lot of blitzing, but if you're not going to blitz and then you're going to use it as a surprise, the time that you do it is right now. Once they start moving and they get in this area, you just bring something. You have to bring some pressure so you get the middle linebacker, you get the ends coming to the inside, the linebacker taking the outside, and he just pushed that whole right side of the pocket.
That was Eric Flowers who got to him first at his feet. Number 96, second down and 18 now from the 30. With under 6 to go. Blitz is on. Greasy able to escape. He almost lost the football and then just has to throw it away because he had Rich Cody chasing him. And as Cody was chasing him, he bobbled the ball, and it was all he could do to get it back into his grasp and fling it away.
Yeah, they overload on that blitz, and it's going to come from the left. You're going to see Cody right here. You see, he starts back there, and he times it so they don't count him. So he comes free. I'll tell you, Brian Greasy did a pretty good job of getting away from Cody and throwing that ball away.
Third and 18, 29-yard line. They rise as 1 in the dome. 3 down defensive linemen. 8 stay back. Greasy going deep. Intercepted in the end zone. We're trying to get it to Clayton. And Jeremetrius Butler picks it off.
Again, that was a 3-man rush, as you said. They were defending with 8, and Leonard Little, in a 3-man rush, got pressure on Brian Greasy.
Rams get it back at the 20, up by 7.
People know the Touareg is rugged, but what they might not know is that it's also luxurious.
Feel well tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
And if you are called upon, you're going to be ready.
Yeah, I'll be ready tomorrow. If if it's Game 7, it's Game 7. We'll evaluate the situation, see who out of me, Derek, and probably Wakefield feel the best on if we can get by tomorrow.
All right, Bronson, thanks for your time and congratulations.
Thank you.
Bronson Arroyo, scoreless 10th inning here tonight for the Red Sox. Now back to you.
Gentlemen, thank you. That's all the time we have for this all Red Sox edition of Sports Desk. For all of us here, thanks for the company and have a great day. It's on to New York. Keep the faith, people.
Coors Light rail cars are always cold insulated.
The whole notion of getting a website was just intimidating.
Who's going to design it?
The best new drama on TV is ABC's Lost.
We got a problem.
They survived the crash.
Get off.
But can they survive each other?
We're all in a lot of trouble.
And all new Lost, Wednesday 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
John talked about the pressure, three-man rush, a little forcing Greasy to throw it. Look here.
Yeah, you watch them here. It's only a three-man line, and they're even going to chip on Leonard Little. You know, they're going to bring a back to help. The back's right there, offside. He feels him, takes it inside, flushes Greasy out of the pocket, makes him throw off balance, and an interception. I mean, there's no way that your quarterback should be flushed out of the pocket against a three-man line.
Rams begin this drive. Falk is the running back from the 20-yard line. Marshall up to the 22. When the Rams win the turnover battle, you can just about forget it, and they're winning it tonight. I mean, even when they're minus, they still have a real good chance to win. As we mentioned, they've been -3 twice this year and won. But since '99, when they won the Super Bowl, you have the advantage. They're undefeated, 30-0. If they wind up tied, they're still pretty terrific. And when they are on the minus side of that, normally your record is worse than 16-24.
Right, and because they are a run and gun and the way they play, they can still play when they get behind. Now, Tampa Bay, on the other hand, they have to get turnovers.
2nd and 7. And that is caught, and that is Curtis, and he gets forced out of bounds. So they go to the second group of receivers with Curtis and McDonald. Curtis, second year out of Utah State, caught a big touchdown pass against Seattle last week. That's 32 yards.
You know, we were talking to Mike Martz the other day, and he said one of the things he wants to do with Bulger is move the pocket. He does on that play, but watch how quick and fast Curtis is. I mean, that's one thing he likes about these young guys. They not only bring some talent to them, but they put more speed in the offense. But see how Mark Bulger's moving out here? That was one of the things that they want to start adding to this offense, where he's not always in the same spot in the pocket.
Falk. Behind Adam Timmerman. Adam Timmerman is a guy, you know, we've seen him on a lot of Monday night games. If he were a pitcher, he'd be in the Hall of Fame, because all he does is win. Remember, he was with the Packers for a lot of years. 6th season with St. Louis. His record would be as an individual. He's been in 146 games, and he's won 105 of them. And that's the best personal winning percentage for any player who's played in 100 games.
Right, and a guy from Cherokee, Iowa should have that record.
Yeah.
How many guys do you know that went to South Dakota?
Tom Brokaw? No, I know he's from South Dakota. Pat O'Brien.
I know one, an old-time football player, Pete Retzlaff.
Pete Retzlaff.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles. There it is. Mike Bartram, the long snapper, and Dorsey Levens, who spent a lot of those years in Green Bay, and William Henderson. So you take a look at that. Timmerman, about half of his career in Green Bay, Levens and Henderson. It tells you a lot about the Packers.
That's the secret if you want to win a lot of games, be a Green Bay player. Or the other thing is be a Green Bay coach.
Right.
I mean, just look at all the coaches in the league right now. In fact, John Gruden being one of them that at one time coached for the Green Bay Packers.
We're under Mike Holmgren. Timeout taken by the Rams. They're second. They're up by 7.
Shipped cold.
Season, so it's Ortiz is a special guy. And it's funny too that George Steinbrenner keeps reminding Brian Cashman that he wanted the Yankees to sign him.
Well, this is actually one reason that the Red Sox were able to win out, and this is why they got him for this reason. Now, David Ortiz, the guy he drove in for the winning run, Johnny Damon, and Johnny continues to struggle at the top of that lineup. He actually did get a hit tonight, only 2 hits now in the ALCS, but he got thrown out trying to steal on a pretty controversial call right there. Didn't get a bunt down. What's his head like? What's his psyche? Where's his head at right now, Peter?
Johnny's the type of guy that he doesn't get flustered by this. I mean, he has a lot. The reason he had such a great year, driving in 93 runs and being second in the American League in runs scored and hitting and having the 395 on base percentage is because I think this is the happiest he's ever been playing. So, I mean, he'll roll out of bed tomorrow and go to the ballpark and, he won't remember it. And that's the way athletes are. They don't think of, the great athletes don't think about, oh my goodness, I'm in a slump. I think he just sort of thinks, hey, I just scored the
Lowe's, where you'll find all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And Capital One, what's in your wallet? The Gateway Arch. Quarterback comparison tonight. Each with a rating of 97.1. But Bulger with those 2 long strikes to Torrey Holt that have kind of bookended the scoring at this point.
Brian Greasy's thinking here that they have to get the ball back. If you're a good defense, and Tampa Bay is a good defense, now is the time you have to make good defensive plays.
Right here, big play, 3rd down and 7, 42-yard line. It's Isaac Bruce who had lined up in the backfield, and a little razzle-dazzle here with Kevin Curtis coming around the end and reaching and apparently getting the first down. So Mike Martz earlier runs 4 times on 1st and goal. Now on a vital play, 3rd and 7, to the back of the playbook, a little trickery, and they pick up the first.
You want to see who gets a block? Watch Mark Bulger, number 10, the quarterback here. That's a reverse. It's a flip. Bulger gets a block right there. Now, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that would even get out in front of it. It's not a great block, but I'll tell you, it is one that helped get the first down. Watch him. He's going to come right there, well, right someplace there, and make a block to free Curtis.
So they run that play after they line Bruce up to give him a different look. They had Bruce in the backfield. Now it's 1st and 10. And this is Jackson fighting for 4. And Tampa Bay only has 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning, so they can stop it twice. And they'll take their final timeout right here. Rams already within field goal range with 2:25 to go and up by 7.
No. That 7th game, I mean, the one thing that the Red Sox have in this series for a great advantage is that they have had nothing to lose since they played that disgraceful game on Saturday. And so, they're playing with house money, and they're playing like it. And, there's no, even if they lose, they're heroes. It's not the same thing for the Yankees at this point.
All right, Peter Gammons, thanks for joining us live here on ESPN News.
Thanks,
from Fenway Park.
I appreciate it.
Yep, see you.
Jerry Rice, 3 games already this season with no catches. He deserves a chance to catch on with another team, and now he has it. Major news in the NFL. We promised to tell you about it.
Sensations. They're back at Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Because leaders are not born, they are made. And they're made just like everything else is made in this country. They're made by a hard effort.
This Sunday, all of America is desperate for more. It's TV's #1 new series of the season.
You burned your rival's house down.
I think I'm being blackmailed.
An all-new Desperate Housewives this Sunday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
So the Rams right now trying to pull off a win. They would have been, as we said earlier, had they lost to Seattle, they would have been 2.5 games behind them. Instead, that miracle win last week, then Seattle loses to New England. If the Rams win tonight, they're in first place. A half game ahead of Seattle, having played one more game because Seattle's already had its bye. And for Tampa, a really critical early season game. They're in a division where there's only one winning team, and that's Atlanta at 5-1. And if they go down here, they'll be 1-5, and Carolina's 1-4. New Orleans is 2-4. Atlanta already has a 3-game lead before the end of October in the NFC South. 2nd down and 6 now from the 32-yard line. Jackson again, and they're out of timeout, so the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. Spires makes the tackle. And it will be up to the Tampa Bay Bucks to stop the Rams and hope they don't make a field goal, because if they make a first down on the next play, they can run out the clock, can the Rams.
You know, one thing, this guy's had a heck of a night. Greg Spires here, both pass rushing, playing the run, just doing everything. He's given everything he's had on this. And I'll tell you, there are some teams that are 1-4, 1-5, and they look like 1-4, 1-5 teams. Tampa Bay doesn't.
But that's what they're going to be in a couple of minutes, unless they can stop the Rams, turn it around, and somehow get into the end zone, and then go to overtime. 28-21, St. Louis.
On the clock at the United Way draft is
news, including high drama in the NLCS and the ALCS. Highlight you gotta see. Keith and I back after this.
Falk's got a rare ability to lead, which you definitely need out.
Sports Desk, more celebrations as this never say die Red Sox team continues to keep the faith.
Monday Night Football, Broncos, Bengals, next Monday 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC.
Well, John, we've got some candidates tonight. Torrey Holt's going to be one. We know that.
Yeah, that's a good one. How about Adam Archuleta? I mean, that play, that was a 14-point play. Tampa Bay was going in to score, and he comes up with the ball and runs it 93 yards.
Gigantic. Bolger's had a good night. Well, he's had better nights, but still very effective. There's Adam Archuleta, whose back has been bothering him. In fact, earlier this week, he was on the injury list.
Wait, he didn't start the last 2 games. And tonight he started, played the whole game, played part of it as a weak side linebacker tonight.
Because the Rams are short in that department. Rams next week will go to Miami before their bye week. And Tampa Bay goes home to meet the Chicago Bears.
Some would say they had 2 byes in a row.
Yes, some would say that. 3rd down and 7 from the 32-yard line. And they're going to run it. They're going to run a draw. They're going to run it to Jackson, but they stop him. Now the question is, at the 27-yard line, 4th down, they're going to bring in Wilkins. And it's going to come down to whether Wilkins makes or misses. Dwight Smith makes the tackle. Wilkins with that sprained left ankle. Take all the time they can off the clock here. He's attempted 1 field goal tonight, and that was a 56-yarder that was well short.
We talked earlier when he was trying that 56-yarder that it could very well be a fake. This one here could also very well be a fake.
They're going to take a timeout just before the clock expires.
He has an injured plant foot, and in fact, I saw him tape him twice tonight. They taped him, then they retaped him, then they taped him again to get that left ankle or foot straightened out.
Well, that's the only reason. Well, I think if they're going to fake it, I would think Dane Looker would throw it. Because if he does have that sprained ankle, and there it was being taped in the first quarter, it's going to be a little dangerous to have a guy who's not 100% running a trick play with a 7-point lead at the end of the game.
I think if it was a trick play, I think he would just throw it.
The field goal attempt will be 43 or 44 yards.
But then the thing about kicking it is you ice it here. I mean, that if you miss or you don't get it, then it's still a one-score game. If you kick the field goal and make it, then you make it a two-score game with a minute left and no timeout.
44-yard attempt. And the kick is wide right. He missed it. He pushed it. And the Bucs are still alive.
The snap is pretty good. The hold is pretty good. And it's just wide right.
Just wide right. And so Tampa Bay, they get the ball at the 34-yard line. They have to go 66 yards in 69 seconds and no timeouts.
You know, John Gruden was saying last night that Brian Griese is the smartest player that he's ever known, and this is where smart players do things well.
Griese starts underneath Pittman, 40-yard line. Again, without a timeout, they've got to rush to the line about 3 yards shy of the first down.
You can't spike it here because you didn't get. Oh yeah, he did spike it there. Usually you like to get a first down. You spike it on first down. Now you're gonna be third down. Again, he had to get that clock stopped.
And he does with 53 seconds. The ball at the 39-yard line. It's third down and 5.
And that's the advantage of the coach being able to talk to the quarterback. He can really call the plays even in this situation for the quarterback.
Again, that three-man rush deep over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tommy Polley was covering on the play, may have gotten a hand on it, intended for the tight end Ken Dilger, and so the Bucs are down to 4th down and 5 now.
You know, both of these guys like to get their linebackers deep, run them deep down the middle. Here's Tommy Polley. You think the tight end is in that post area. You don't expect the linebacker to be there.
And he was, and he broke up the play, and it comes down to this for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, a three-man rush shown by the Rams. Griese has to convert and does to the rookie Clayton. And Clayton is out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 7 catches for 117 yards for their #1 choice out of LSU.
You're right, and they catch him in this cover 2 again. And again, you see the corner bump up there. Then there's a hole right here between the corner and the safety. The safety doesn't get over, and that's the hole that they've been working on all night to Michael Clayton.
25 yards for Clayton there. He's caught 8 passes for 142 yards. Now a 4-man rush, 7 back. Griese to the outside, incomplete, off the hands of Tim Brown. 2nd down.
I don't think that one really hurt him, because if Tim Brown catches that ball, he would have been tackled and they would have had to go through that spike drill again. I think they're better getting the ball up the field and getting the ball to Michael Clayton.
Right, you don't need the underneath stuff in the middle at this point. Get it to the sideline or get it to the end zone. 2nd down and 10, 36-yard line. Blitz picked up, and that enables Griese to throw to the free man Brown, and Brown goes down at the 15-yard line and loses the football. No whistle. Tim Brown had a first down. The Bucs are saying he was down at the 15. The officials are conferring. They say the Rams have the ball, and again, this can be reviewed upstairs, which I'm sure they'll take a look at as we are right now. Is he down? Is the ball coming out before he's down? There's the knee. The ball is starting to come up. Aeneas Williams was the guy who was tackling him, and they'll take a look at this upstairs. The question is, does the knee go down before he begins to lose possession of the football? It's starting to come out as the knee hits.
We'll review the result of the last play.
Boy, that's going to be a tight review, because There's the knee hitting now, and the ball isn't out yet, but it's starting to come out as the knee hits.
Definitely starting to come out. It's almost simultaneous. Very well, on that angle, it looks like the ball is coming out before he's down. On that angle, it's very close. There's your
right
knee.
There.
Clearly, the ball is beginning to come loose. But that other angle we just showed appears to be a little bit more definitive. Well, here's the knee.
Review whether the player was down by contact or it's a fumble.
Yeah, we understand that. That's.
You know, I go back to. You know, I just wish I'd call those things fumble. I mean, and, you know, when our forefathers started this game, a fumble was a fumble, and now every time there's a fumble, we have to go and look for excuses why it's not a fumble. That's a fumble. Now they can go with the knee, the ball, you know.
Well, one thing that the officials have done through the years, and remember this whole replay process, not the way we know it now, but replay began in 1986, was they've told the officials, and they hesitate in terms of blowing the whistle, because in the early years there were so many whistles that were being blown, and then you take a look at the replay, and the wrong call had been made.
Right,
so,
and if they call down by contact, then that's not reviewable. By calling it a fumble, then that is reviewable.
You keep the option open by not blowing the whistle on the close play, which is what they do right here. I mean, how could you see that with the naked eye if you're an official, whether you should blow the whistle or not? So on a close play like that, they don't blow the whistle, enabling the guys upstairs inside 2 minutes, or the coaches outside 2 minutes, to challenge it.
Right, and now the referee has to go and look at it, and he has to decide, okay, was that a fumble or not? The guys upstairs can tell him, okay, you just come and look at it, and now he has to go and look at it, watch these pictures, and make the decision. For what it's worth, if you can't sit on the fence, if you have to go one way or the other, I say it's a fumble.
Ball appears to be coming out, as you see, before the knee is going down.
And it was called a fumble on the field, so you would have to see something that would say that it wasn't a fumble. It has to be declarative.
Two guys probably going to the Hall of Fame involved in this play, too, Tim Brown and Aeneas Williams. Here's the judgment.
After reviewing the play, the ball was out before the knee hit the ground. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. First down, St. Louis.
And Tampa Bay done in by the turnovers tonight. 4 of them. 3 fumbles and 1 pick.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is a well-coached team. They played very hard, and they just can't overcome those types of turnovers. Brian Grease did an excellent job of leading the team to get him in this position. And if Tim Brown doesn't fumble, you wonder what would have happened.
We'll never know. The Rams will run out the clock. Archuleta with that tackle creates the fumble, avoids the contact, and rumbles 93 yards on the game-turning play. And in this play with Brown, he would have been down at the 15-yard line.
That's what the Rams were talking about. We don't have a lot of turnovers, and the one thing our defense has to do is create more turnovers. They did it tonight.
Bulger 18 of 30 for 264. Autotrader.com postgame show comes up next. One thing for Tampa Bay tonight, a star was born. This kid Clayton's pretty good.
He is really good.
He's really good. But big play, Torrey Holt with 2 touchdowns tonight, and the Rams win it. And we'll have the Autotrader.com postgame show coming up next.
Introducing the 300 horsepower Acura RL with voice-activated technology and the world's most advanced all-wheel drive. It shifts power to exactly where you need it for dramatically improved handling in all weather conditions. The road will never be the same. The all-new Acura RL.
the aroma, the taste, the legend. The pleasures of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Warm cinnamon with just a kiss of sugar. With crisp wheat and rice squares baked to perfection, achieving a level of pleasure reserved only for the most discerning.
Frank?
Yeah.
Zip it.
Sorry.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Breakfast on a whole other level. Aren't you late for work?
I'm late and I love it.
How many Americans have had sex on the first date, at work, for revenge, in an outdoor public place? Who has more sex, Democrats or Republicans? How often do you have sex? In 3 days, don't miss Primetime Live's American Sex Lives.
Welcome to the Autotrader.com postgame show. Here now, Al Michaels.
Rams win it after their spectacular come-from-behind win last week on top now NFC West. Half game over Seattle, 28-21. Rams tonight got it started on their first drive, 52-yard touchdown pass from Bulger to Torrey Holt to make it 7-0. Bucs answered on their first drive as Mike Allstott took it in. Michael Pittman then gave them the lead after a 44-yard pass to Clayton that set up that Tampa Bay touchdown. Marshall Faulk with that 1-yard run on 4th down and goal after a fumble was recovered at the end of the first quarter. And then the big play with Tampa Bay ready to take the lead. Archuleta with the tackle, the strip, the fumble recovery, and the romp for the touchdown. Heller then was able to score for Tampa Bay. The tight end hauls in that lob to tie it at 21 all. And then Torrey Holt, who had a real hot start, was pretty quiet for a couple of quarters, was hot again at the end, and that turned out to be the game winner. And then Tim Brown was able to get to the 15-yard line in the waning seconds, but the ball came loose before his knee hit the ground. The Rams recover, and on the Porsche trailer, one from the offense and one from the defense. Torrey Holt tonight, 6 carries for 124. Archuleta with the big play of the game, and both guys are with Michelle.
Adam Archuleta, your back had been bothering you the last couple of weeks, but it didn't seem to be bothering you when you forced that fumble and ran it back for a touchdown. What happened on that play?
Well, it was just a matter of everybody forced the ball back into me. And, I've been working on my angles and my tackling. I made a head-up tackle. I felt the ball came out. No whistle, and so I just wanted to show my speed a little bit.
Your defense was really opportunistic tonight, creating turnovers, making the most of them. What was different about tonight?
Well, that's something that we really want to try and establish as the defense. We hadn't been getting turnovers through the preseason and the first few games, and everybody knows turnovers help you win football games, and we're just trying to be fast and aggressive, and hopefully those things will start coming more often.
Congratulations. Let's turn to your offensive counterpart, Torrey Holt. You hadn't scored a touchdown. All kinds of chaos over here. You hadn't scored a touchdown in the last 2 games. Tonight you had your first 2-touchdown game in about a year. What was different?
Just coming out and just working. I want to tip my hat off to Tampa, man. It's fun playing these guys because they challenge you every single play to work your skills as a football player. And that's all I did. I came out and worked my skills tonight. Coach called my number, and I was able to come up with some big plays to help this football team win. And I also want to say thanks to my teammates, too. They played a hell of a game.
Well, most of your teammates told me during the week that the win last week over Seattle created momentum, but they wanted to capitalize on it tonight. How much of tonight was fueled by last week?
Last week was big for us. We had a lot of guys to step up for us and make plays for us, and we wanted that momentum to carry over and then carry over into the night, and I think it's just good for this football team. Now we have some momentum. We have some confidence. Now we can continue to play the way we're capable of playing, man.
Congratulations, Torrey.
Right on. Thank you. What's up, Gibsonville?
Al?
Thank you, man. I love when they call Michelle man. But he's a happy guy, as are the Rams. 28-21. St. Louis wins it. We'll head on to Cincinnati next week. Cincinnati hosting Monday Night Football for the first time in 15 years, and the Denver Broncos and their sudden star, Reuben Drones, Jake Plummer and company coming in to take them on Monday night. For now, it's Al Michaels, John Madden, Michelle Tafoya, and entire ABC Sports crew saying good night from St. Louis.
ABC Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.